Greetings, Ventures. This is Lorne, your guild advisor, back at it with a ton of information that came from the Japanese live stream for DanMemo. This is for the 3rd year anniversary of the game in Japan, and we've known for quite some time that the event will be focused around Ryu, around Estrella Familia, and we got the official title for the event, Estrella Record. And this is going to be in 3 parts. The first part is the Rise of Evil. I talked about what this is going to entail a bit in the past 2 weeks leading up to this. We're going to go against the evils. This is set in the past in Aurario. The actual event says 7 years in the past, and it's going to be a really interesting and an exciting event because we're going to see characters we know about, Ryu's old familia. It's going to be super awesome, and we got a ton of information to go through. There's a PV and a new song for the main title theme. So, and I will go over like all my speculations and stuff for like future banners in a different video because there's just so much information with all of this right now that it's better for me to split the videos into like the news video for the game and then the speculation video, which is probably going to be me being very super excited for the possibilities of what's going to happen in this event, but that'll be a future video to be released after this. Right now we're just going to go over the general news for this. So again, Estrella Record, The Rise of Evil, this is part 1 of the event, and it will go live this Thursday night. If you're in America, you see right here it says the 3rd anniversary theme song, sung by Saori Hayami, which is Ryu's voice actress, and it's called Justitia, like justice, because Estrella is the goddess of justice, and it makes sense that this would be the name of the song. And again, I will leave a link to the song in the video description along with the PV. And here is a bit of the premise for the event. 7 years ago, so this is 7 years into the past from present-day Danmachi, so Ryu's actually around 14, 15 at this time. Chaos had replaced the world order. People washed blood with blood in Aurario's dark era. To put an end to the city's worst nightmare, a familia that symbolizes justice stood up. This is a story of certain familias that lived through that dark age. You see right here, Story Record, The Rise of Evil, created and fully produced by Fujino Mori sensei, the author of the Danmachi light novels. It all happened 7 years ago during the Dark Era. For the first time ever, what wasn't featured in the original story is to be revealed. And that's why this is so exciting, because this is stuff that's been teased about in the novels, but we never actually seen like an actual story happen in this time. That's why this is so exciting. Don't miss it, Danmachi fans. Be amazed with the surprising facts about Zeus and Hera Familia that lead to the current Danmachi world. We don't know too much about Zeus and Hera Familia. We know that they were severely weakened during the 3 Great Quests. The last one was failed against the Black Dragon, and then at one point Loki and Freya Familia basically took them out of Aurario, chased them out. This event is divided into 3 phases. It's worth 1.5 anime seasons. This is the biggest great tale in the history of DanMemo. So, the Argonauts Event, which is last year if you were here, was around 1 anime season worth of content. And it was a super long event. If you like sat there and watched the entire thing, it was super long. And this is supposedly even longer than an anime. So, Omori Sensei has been working on this a ton. This is going to be super long, and it does seem to actually justify those 3 different parts. This is going to be awesome. And here are the characters from Estrella Familia. Like I said, I only mentioned Elise and Estrella, and I wanted to say the other 2 for a surprise, even though they are mentioned in Volume 14. But here you see from left to right, Estrella, Elise, the captain of Estrella Familia, Kaguya, the vice captain, Ryu, of course, and then Lyra. And this right here is a brand new character for the story. Like, he hasn't been in Danmachi before, and he is Erebus. And Erebus, or Erebus, is the Greek god of darkness, so we can just assume that this is one of the dark gods, one of the faction leaders in the evils, or evilists. And he'll be voice acted by Yoshitsugu Matsuoka, who is the voice actor for Bell. We gotta get our main boy in there somehow, because Bell's not going to be in Auraria at this time. He's probably still being raised by his adopted grandfather Zeus right now. So we gotta put Matsuoka in somewhere, and he's gonna be voice acting Erebus, and it's gonna be really interesting to see his take on this character, because I think Matsuoka had a lot of fun with Argo, and it'll be interesting to see his take on Erebus right here. The event is not going to have voice acting right away, unfortunately, because they had scheduling problems recording the voice acting because of COVID-19. So they did say they do plan to put voice acting into the entire event before the event is over, but we do know that the event will stretch out all the way into August. So we don't know how long it's going to take for them to record all this. It is 1.5 anime seasons worth of content, so it is going to be a lot of recording. But hopefully they get that out sooner than later. I'm going to be reading the story regardless. I'll probably read it twice, once without voice, and then again experiencing it with the voice, because I want to know the voices of all these new characters. I want to know what Estrella sounds like, what Elise sounds like, what Kaguya sounds like, what Lyra sounds like. Oh. And then here are some characters from Erebus. We know, if you've been playing the game or been watching the anime, you know 2 of these. Vito was actually an original character made for the Christmas story event from not last Christmas, but the Christmas before that, and they actually made a video about that event. But he is an original character from that, so it's cool that Amori-sensei is bringing him back here for this. And then you see all of us act right there from Sword Art Oratoria. If he's seen season 1, and I think he's in the 3rd novel as well. And then you see Valletta over there, and she is a character that's yet to appear in the DanMachi anime, but she is mentioned in a future light novel in Sword Art Oratoria. So it's really cool to see her right here. Like, this will be her first time being seen in DanMemo. And then here is that mystery character that they teased before, like the big guy in the armor with his face covered. It turns out that he is a former member of Zeus Familia, and that just made this event super interesting. Like, I was already super invested because it's about Ryu, my favorite character. It's about her previous Familia, Estrella Familia, it taking place during like the Dark Ages in DanMachi, and now we got characters from Zeus and Hera Familia, and it seems that they are antagonists at this point because remember, Freya and Loki Familia drove these 2 people out, and it looks like they're going to reappear as antagonists. Very interested to see what these 2 characters are all about. And another important character is Audie. That's another new character you guys might not know about. She is mentioned in DanMachi Volume 14, but we never got a character design. And for those of you who don't know, Audie is actually Shakti's sister. They had the same last name, Varma, so that's really cool. And looks like she knows Ryu quite well. And of course, I like how I was right, but it was kind of obvious. Like, I did say, like, we might see Otaro, Finn, Gareth, Riveri, and boom, 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 they're all right here. And then, of course, here is the banner art for the Great Tail event, the first part of the Stray Record, The Rise of Evil, clear all quests, and limit break 4-star, win the purity Ryu Leon. She is going to be a welfare character, very similar to how Argonauts worked, I believe, because we had like the free welfare Argonaut that you could limit break to max limit break +5 just from the event, and then he got a new actual gacha banner units in part 2 of the event, so I assume that Ryu will get an actual gacha character with actual good stats and skills later on, maybe in part 2, maybe in part 3 for the finale of this event. And then let's just go over all the unit stats. Ryu, there's not too much to talk about with her because she's just a welfare character, pretty much designed for newer players to use. Their welfare characters are pretty good for new players to just clear through the quest real quick and then build up as they build up other characters from the actual gacha. She's not too impressive again because she's a welfare character with a 17-16 max magic attack for special arts. And I want to thank Simhao from the DanMemo Reddit Discord for all these translations. They do an awesome job back there, and I'll of course leave a link to that Discord in the description. But again, her special arts is an AoE Ultra Wind magic attack with a temporary magic boost, and will also give your allies plus 40% magic and wind attack damage for 3 turns. As for her combat skills, her first skill costs 29 MP, and it's an AoE low wind magic attack that will also increase her magic and wind attack damage by 40% for 5 turns, so a standard buffing kind of attack for her. And then for her second skill, it costs 41 MP, and it is an AoE high wind magic attack with an ultra uncounter rate, and will reduce your opponent's strength, magic resistance, and wind resistance by 20% for 3 turns. And then for her third skill, it costs 23 MP, and is a single target high wind magic attack with an ultra penetration rate. And for the next 2 actions, additional single target low wind magic attack, we'll go over that little new mechanic pretty soon. And then for her notable passives, she has wind element counter attacks, 25% earth resistance, plus 4% HP and MP regen, and then the worm killer ability. And I assume we're going to have some kind of familiar rush or event where the enemy is worm type, so this will be nice for people that don't have too many resources to actually roll on characters with the worm killer ability. She'll be pretty nice in that regard. But let's go over this new kind of combat mechanic for the next 2 actions, additional actions. Now, with this, it's a brand new mechanic for combat, and we have the translations are from Japanese, so I assume when this event actually drops, I'm gonna get like the official like English translations for how this works. Will make a lot more sense than just translating it from the Japanese. But additional actions, what do we know? They can't be removed with skills. They do not increase the special arts gauge when they actually happen. They will not activate after using a special arts combination, special arts, or counters. They cannot be countered, and these additional actions are applied to skills and attacks that are used after the initial skill that actually grants you these additional actions. So real quick, like with Ryu, for skill 3 says for the next 2 actions, additional foe low wind magic attack. From what I understand with how this is translated, she'll use skill 3 and then nothing will happen that turn. And then the following turn, she has that 2 next actions buff, and let's say she uses like skill 2 the next turn. So after using skill 3 the first turn, she uses skill 2 the second turn, and then you get that attack, the highway magic attack with ultra uncounter rate, and then the debuffs. And then after that move, then you get that 1 additional action of that single target low in magic attack. That's what I assume happens, and it doesn't like both of those things don't happen at once. Like you get that 1 additional action, then like turn 3 you get another additional action from that initial use of skill 3. It's very confusing, and that might not be how it works exactly, but it seems that you don't get these additional actions the turn that the skill is used, but the turn after, and it applies after a skill that you use that second turn. And they don't stack, so if you use like that skill 3 repeatedly, they're not going to stack. You're just going to reset the counter to the 2 maximum extra actions. So very confusing. It'll make a lot more sense, I believe, when the update's actually out and we can just test it out with the welfare Ryu. And for our second character, we got Elise, the captain of Estrella Familia, and dear lord, her skill set and stats are amazing. So let's go over this real quick. Her max attack is 2184 strength. She's super fast with a 1246 agility, maximum break, max hero ascension. For her special arts, it's an AoE ultra fire physical attack with a temporary great strength boost and ultra critical rate. And she also gives her allies a strength, magic, and fire attack damage buff of 60% for 3 turns. So it's a very hard hitting attack because it's ultra and has a great strength boost. It'll basically guarantees a critical hit, and it also gives all your allies a crazy buff of 60% for strength, magic, and fire attack damage. So if you have a fire team, Elise is pretty much amazing. For her first combat skill, her first skill costs 52 MP. It's an AoE fast high fire magic physical attack with an ultra uncounter rate, and it also reduces your enemy's fire resistance by 40% for 5 turns, and also buffs her own strength and fire attack damage by 60% for 5 turns. So her first skill, super freaking good. It's a fast attack. It reduces your enemy's fire resistance, and it also gives her a double buff for strength and fire attack damage for 5 turns. Insanity. And then her second skill costs 54 MP. It's an AoE super fire physical attack with a temporary strength boost and ultra critical rate, and gives your allies a critical rate and penetration rate buff of 30% for 3 turns. So after you use that crazy skill 1 that debuffs your opponents and buffs herself, you use a crazy skill 2 that does a ton of damage and also increases the crit and penetration rate of your entire party. And then for his skill 3, costs 31 MP. It's a single target high fire magic physical attack with a temporary great strength boost and ultra penetration rate. So she's pretty much an all-around character that's super good for AoE. So very good in a fire team. Very essential for a fire team at this rate with all those amazing buffs and debuffs. And then notable passives, plus 35% when resistance, fire emblem counters, 50% more damage on counters, 15% more damage on critical hits, and also has the worm killer passive. So Elise, monstrous fire unit. And then right here we have the newer character, Audie. And again, she is Shakti's sister. She's a balanced character, as you can see with her stats right there, like 1606 strength, 1174 magic at max hero ascension, max limit break. She's a balanced character. For her special arts, engage your allies in agility and dexterity buff of 40% and 50% HP regen for 4 turns. And she can also prevent your characters from dying 1 time when your HP is above 1%. So it's like a buff that persists on your entire party, and it will prevent your party from dying from a hit straight up if they are above 1% HP, and this buff is removed when they are below 1% HP. And for her combat skills, her first skill costs a whopping 241 MP, but is a fast buff to your allies for physical resistance and magic resistance of 30%, and also gives them 35% HP regen for 4 turns, and again it has that prevent your party from dying 1 time when they are above 1% HP, and it's removed, that buff is removed when they are below 1% HP. So I imagine she's going to be very, very good for any like stall type teams. For her second combat skill, it costs 32 MP. It gives your allies a 30% HP heal, and will also reduce your enemy's physical resistance and magic resistance by 30%, and your enemy's critical and penetration rate by 40% for 2 turns. So kind of similar to Goblin Slayer's resistance debuffs, except there's no dark resistance here, but it is physical and magic resistance, and also decreasing your opponent's critical and penetration rate by 40% instead of 30% like Goblin Slayer does, and also gives your allies a heal. So very awesome. Even if you don't have a stall team, you could use Audie as one of those sacrificial characters that you just put in for the first turn, and then give your opponents those physical resistance and magic resistance debuffs along with that critical and penetration rate debuff, and then use other skills to extend that, like Haruhime's skill. And then for her third skill, it costs 39 MP. It's a single target super water physical attack with an ultra critical rate and removes strength and magic buffs excluding assist skills. This isn't going to do that much damage because Audie is a balanced type character, so this is really just there to deal some damage, and then having a somewhat useful component if you lack characters that can remove strength or magic buffs from your enemies in encounters where they can buff their own strength or magic. Then from noble passives, it's a 35% additional damage reduction on guard, 35% fire resistance, and a plus 5 HP and MP regen. Next up, we have a new Riveria with a max magic of 2123. For special arts, is a single target ultra water magic attack that will increase damage by 70% for each water attack damage buff on her, and also removes any strength and magic buffs on your opponent excluding assist skills. So hard-hitting special arts if you do use her own water attack damage buff, and also use an assist that provides a water attack damage buff. And then for regular combat skills, her first skill costs 37 MP. It will provide herself a fast increase special arts gauge charge gain of 100% along with a water attack damage buff of 100% for 4 turns. And then there's that new combat mechanic again. For the next 3 actions, an additional single target low water magic attack. And again, we'll just have to see how exactly that works, because this skill doesn't actually target anyone, so I'm very interested to see how the additional actions work for like single target additional actions when you're using a skill that doesn't actually target anyone in the first place, how that works. But yes, this is pretty nuts. It increases your water attack damage by 100%, and also it just increases how fast your special arts gauge charges, so you can get in more special attacks during stuff like Record Buster and Familiar Rush or Royale. Then her second skill costs 55 MP. It's a single target slow high water magic attack with a temporary magic boost and ultra critical rate, and will also increase her own critical rate and penetration rate by 50% for 1 turn. So that's just the move you're going to be using when you get your buffs up. And then for her third skill, it costs 32 MP. It's a single target high water magic attack with an ultra on guard rate, and will also increase her own magic and dexterity by 50% for 3 turns. So basically set her up using skill 1, then use skill 3, and then just do a bunch of damage with skill 2 after you get all those buffs up. And then for notable passives, she has a 35% fire resistance, counters with water element, has 25% additional damage on critical hits, 50% more damage on counter attacks, and has the Worm Killer passive. And then the last new adventurer character is a new Gareth. About time the actual last legitimate Gareth we got was a New Year's Gareth, because Galmus doesn't count, even though he's probably one of Gareth's ancestors. It's not actually Gareth, that's Galmus, so it's been quite a long freaking time. But anyway, his max attack is 2132 strength, max limit break, max hero ascension. For his special arts, it's an AoE ultra earth physical attack with a temporary strength boost and ultra on guard rate, and also gives your allies 50% physical resistance and magic resistance for 4 turns. It's a fast earth attack damage buff of 50% for 5 turns to your allies, and then for the next 3 actions, an additional 75% null physical attack, excluding special arts. And this is why this additional actions thing is really confusing. So from what I am understanding, it's you first use that very high cost MP skill, and then for Garrett's attacks after that initial skill 1 use to actually give him the 3 additional actions, like for turn 2, he'll use skill 2, and then it will apply that 1 additional action for a chance of a 75% nullification of a physical attack to your allies. And if it'll be interesting how this works, because that is a high chance to negate a physical attack, but it seems like it's not going to apply the first turn, but the second turn, because you got to apply the additional actions, and then the second turn will actually take place. So this sounds like it'll be good for physical teams, against physical teams I should say, and he might pair well with Alan, because Alan's a fast boy that does earth damage, and then this Gareth is a fast boy that buffs earth damage and possibly nullifies a ton of physical attacks, depending on how these additional actions work. We need to get that review right now so we can test how that actually works. And for skill 2, it costs 54 MP. It's an AoE super earth physical attack with a temporary strength boost and ultra on guard rate, and it'll remove any strength and magic debuffs from your allies, excluding assist skills. So nice to have if you need a character that can remove those types of debuffs from your party. And then for skill 3, it costs 27 MP. A single target high earth physical attack that will increase in damage by 50% for each self-strength buff on Gareth, and also has the ultra penetration rate. So Gareth doesn't actually give himself a strength buff, so you gotta need another adventurer to put the strength buff on him to take full advantage of skill 3. And then for his notable passives, he has earth element counters, has a 35% additional thunder resistance, plus 20% physical and magic resistance, plus 15% additional damage on penetrations, and has the Worm Killer passive. That's it for the adventurers for this first part. Now we have the assist, and the first one being the goddess herself, Astrea. She has rather balanced stats for both attack and strength, and then for agility, it's 719. Like, every time I say, like, this is the fastest assist, this is the fastest assist, it feels like we keep getting faster ones, and here we go again. A very fast assist at 719 agility at max limit break. And then for her assist skill max limit break, it gives your allies 30% HP regen. I believe that 30% HP regen is like the highest amount an assist has given. And not only that, she can nullify a physical attack 1 time and a magic attack 1 time for your entire party. So very similar to how Chloe and Ana work, except at max limit break, she only does 1 instance of physical attack nullification and magic nullification. A lot of people will be putting her in the front line because she has a ton of agility, so you want her in the front party and like a fast character to guarantee they go first. And also, it'll pretty much guarantee you'll get a nullification of some kind, no matter what. If your opponent's using either physical or magic damage, it doesn't matter, because Astrea can at least handle both. And there are a lot of teams that use like 1 magic character, and she'll be able to just nullify that first attack from that 1 magic character. A lot of people seem to be running like, a lot of people run like 3 physicals and then 1 Fina. This will disrupt that 1 Fina people are using. And then there is the new Finn. Pretty balanced stats for both strength and magic, and I believe that's a ton of a dexterity at 633. So for his assist skill up +5, it gives your allies a 10% buff to strength, magic, agility, endurance, and dexterity, all 5 main stats, and also increase the special arts charge gain by 33% for all your characters. Some of you may have the Casino Seer, and that just applies a charge gain to just the character equipped. Finn actually gives it to every character, so at +5 at that 33% for all your characters, that's actually more than Seer applies to a single character. Plus, he gives a 10% stat bonus to every stat. And even though you may have characters like Artemis that give more strength, or the Wedding Bell Hestia that gives more magic, Finn at least covers every single stat, and you can also take advantage of that special arts charge gain and do more special arts. So he seems to be like a really solid character. And then for the actual gachas for this anniversary, like the Argonauts Event, so like the Grand Day event, it's gonna be double the gacha unit rates. So awesome, double rates for 4-star units. So hopefully you guys are super lucky and get multiple 4 stars, multiple bonds. That'll be exciting. And this is how the banners actually laid out. It's the standard 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th guarantees for the 4-star characters, and it's time limited. This is the Rise of Evil gacha featuring Australia, Gareth, and Audie. And then on the Justice Swords gacha, it features Elise, Finn, and Reveria. And then for Heroic Trials, I'm not sure like how many characters for the bonds. I'm trying to remember how Argonaut worked, and I think each Heroic Trial had one for each banner, I believe. So hopefully there's like a second Heroic Trial next week for another 3 characters. So I'm Justice Swords. So yeah, I believe with this Heroic Trial 7 days battle, you can grind for a bond for either Elise, Reveria, or Finn. And then probably the week after, or maybe in 2 weeks, there'll be another Heroic Trial where you can get a bond for Australia, Gareth, or Audie of your choice. So hopefully that's how it works, because these are a lot of characters, and if there's 3 parts to this event, that's like 3 sets of double banners. Hope you guys have a lot of Iris. And also, we will get a, is it wrong for all the 11 draws to be 4-star units gacha? So a very special gacha ticket or gacha draw that we're going to be getting, where each of the 11 units you get from this gacha, all 11 draws are going to be a 4-star character. So that could either go really well or really bad depending on your luck and who you have limit broken. But hopefully 11 is enough to where you get something good, at least something you need. And then here it says up to 7,000 Iris present, you get 4,000 Iris for the login bonus alone, and on top of that you can get potentially 12k Iris combined with the 7,000 from raking events like Record Buster, probably Familia Rush, Familia Royale, and War Games. And then this is what the login bonus looks like, just pure Iris. Thank you, Australia-sama. 50, 10, 10, 100, 10, 10, 50, 50, 10, 10, 50, 1. A lot. And then that last day, 300. And then if you log in during the period from when the event launches on Thursday night to all the way into September, you'll get 1,000 Iris. So hopefully you guys can manage at least 1 login within that time, and you get that 1,000 Iris. And then we have Lotto Orario coming back. That's always fun. Lots of different things, lots of different prizes and drawings. I will probably be getting a lot of tickets from doing various missions in the event. And yeah, you see right here, rank 4 prizes, 11 draw tickets, potato snacks, Valis. The first rank prize is a 4-star guaranteed gacha ticket, get 5 of those, and 1 adventure ticket where you pick a character from the adventurer pool. So that's nice. Lots of rewards. Hopefully you guys have good luck on the Lotto Orario. And then this is new, the character display feature is here. Set your favorite interact character on your home screen. So I think this is probably optional, and this will replace the town screen where you can walk around. So I believe you'll have the main menu, you log into the game, and then instead of opening up to the town menu, you can just open it up to a character from your interact on the home screen. And that might actually help some people that like crash when they load the town. So maybe this is one way to bypass that. You never have to see the town, you just see a character you like. And then the upgrade support campaign, and this is just various stuff we kind of went over. Like there's the Ryu upgrade mission where you get to maximum break the welfare Ryu. There's going to be CP up items for the 3-year anniversary units, kind of like how Argonaut worked, where each character got their own specific CP item. And then the rate success rate has tripled for when you're enhancing units, giving them auxiliary books, so you'll be able to level them up a lot quicker and faster and more efficiently. Auxiliary quest stamina has been halved, and Falna quests have all been unlocked with the stamina halved as well, so very good time for new players to drop in and just be able to get a ton of resources to upgrade their units. And then you see right here, daily quests available one after another. Play every day for loads of items for the Hero Falna, XP, CP up items, and Valis. And then there's like there's gonna be a ton of deals for these paid bundles. That's always fun. Here's a 3rd-year anniversary special box with a time limited unit exchange ticket. We'll have to read the details on this, but this almost sounds like you can just pick whatever unit you want from the 3rd-year anniversary. We'll just have to see how that works. And then there's an adventure ticket, pick whatever adventure you want from a pool. And the assist ticket, picked a, well, that might just be like a random ticket. We'll just have to see and read the details. And then there's a 4-star guaranteed 11 draw ticket, 2 of those, and then a standard 11 draw ticket. Be careful with your money, guys. We're living in a time that might be hard for you financially. Stray record, bundle, mega bundle A, B, special bundle ticket, braver bundle. So exciting. And spend money, guys, please. You can purchase this up to 3 times. The 300 Iris bundle is now 400. The 14 bundle is now 1600. Please give us your money. And then here is like the roadmap for the event. This is part 1, and they say each part will have similar campaigns. And then there's the mysterious extra part. 3+1 campaigns, because we're cool. We gotta have that 3 in there. And when there's 4 parts, we gotta say 3+1 to keep the 3 motif. And then it's gonna lead into DanMemo Season 3, which is kind of awkward, because originally, DanMemo Season 3 would have like aired as this event was going on, but now we're probably transitioning from the 3rd-year anniversary event into DanMemo Season 3 stuff, because it has been delayed to fall. So we'll see how that goes. And then 10 popular events return to the story digest. If you guys haven't used the story digest before, you could like rewatch previous events in that, and then at some point they like took everything out because there's some bug, and it looks like they're slowly putting them back into the game. So if you guys haven't seen these events before, you can now watch them in the story digest. And then 7th Zone is being reset Thursday night, and then we'll be having a record buster, Erebus. And this is something special, like up to 303 draw gacha free, daily 11 draw gacha share campaign for every 300 retweets, 11 draw ticket giveaway. And let's get to the giveaway right here. I'll leave a link to this tweet in the description, but basically you guys will be retweeting this to get more 11 draw tickets, pretty much. That's how it's gonna work. So guys, retweet it, please. Just a final reminder on some of the stuff you'll be getting if you log in on Thursday night when the event starts. Get that 1K Iris, the free Win the Purity Welfare Ryu, get the first copy of her for logging in, then you get the rest of her from doing the event. You get that 11 draw ticket, and I believe, oh wait, what? That's, oh, okay, a regular 11 draw ticket, man, I'm dumb, okay. Then you get an Lotto Orario lottery ticket, and then clear the event to get this amazing ticket, and all 4-star 11 draw ticket, and I think that's just for part 1. I wonder what part 2 and part 3 are going to give us. And then, yeah, here's the breakdown on what's going to happen Thursday night. Great Tale, Stray Record, The Rise of Evil. And then the 2 banners, the heroic trial for it. And then the Once a Day Hero Falna quest, the upgrade support campaign, 7th Zone, Record Buster, a bunch of paid bundles in the shop. And then the bonus Iris campaign is part of that as well. So a lot of stuff is happening. Like I said, this was a long video because a lot of stuff is happening. And then the video after this, guys, will be my speculation about the story that's happening in DanMemo in Estrella Record, as well as me reacting to the PV. I've seen the Japanese one. They released the English one later, so I'll be reacting to that and giving my thoughts and analysis on what the event will entail, what possibly the part 2 and 3 units could be. Anyway guys, hope you are excited as I am for this event. It's so cool being able to see Estrella Familia and then the stuff that happened in the past scenario during this dark time. We don't have too much lore about this, and we're going to get a ton of it right here. It's by the author Mori Sensei. This is pretty much as good as canon. So exciting. Hopefully you guys get good luck on your draws and enjoy this event as much as I will. But if you want to see more Danmachi content, go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, follow me on Twitter, and join my Discord. And as always, continue enjoying your time venturing Ario and the dungeon. This is Lauren, your guild advisor, signing out.
風に揺らいでゆく鈍色の光照らす世界で今選ぼうその正義を